Fiction is a powerful tool as it allows its readers to walk in the footsteps of the characters during the time of social change, revealing the truth and reality behind the emotions at this time. The book The Help, written by Catherine Stockett, is a historical fiction that transports you back in time to the 1960s, exploring the emotions individuals would have faced and experienced during this horrific time where racial discrimination was seen as a social norm. Racial discrimination is shown throughout every chapter of this fiction novel, being its central and focal theme, as well as the reasoning behind the title itself. The Help referring to the black maids were treated with racial discrimination in a number of ways, for starters their job, as well as being denied and refused opportunities for education, having to look up to and obey those who were white, the use of separate bathrooms, and the most defacing of all, the daily verbal abuse of being called dirty and diseased and less than white people. As quoted by Healy Holbrook in Chapter 1, page 8, everybody knows they carry different kinds of diseases than we do. Stockett allows us as readers to go back in time and gain a new perspective to the emotions individuals would have felt during this social change. Through the use of irony, we can see how Stockett is trying to portray the emotions of Aibileen being fed up and amused in a way at the fact that racial discrimination is just another normal part of life as a black maid. This was seen through the quote, "I use my coloured bathroom from now on, and then I go on and Clorox the white bathroom again real good." This was seen in Chapter 2, page 29. Throughout the novel, Aibileen mentions a bitter seed growing within her, beginning with the death of her son, who was crushed by a tractor trailer whilst working for a white man, who wasn't cared for correctly just for being black, which cost him his life. A bitter seed was planted inside me, and I just didn't feel so accepting anymore. Quoted by Aibileen, Chapter 1, page 3. This is later followed in Chapter 7 after Miss Leafold calls Aibileen dirty and diseased. She thinks to herself, "I feel that bitter seed growing inside of me, the one that planted after Treloy died." This was quoted in Chapter 7, page 96. This symbol gives us an insight into how the constant racial discrimination that Aibileen faces every day is slowly changing her and making her only to see the bad rather than the good in people. This is a technique that actively represents the emotions that Aibileen as a black woman feels from the continual put-downs and disrespect she faces for being a different race, and shows how it affects and impacts her life from her perspective. We as readers are emotionally invested in the lives of each character, allowing us to perceive how these issues would have affected those who are identified to be black during this time. Through the quote, "I want to yell so loud that baby girl can hear me that dirty ain't a color. Disease ain't the Negro side of town." Chapter 7, page 96. We can see the emotions of anger and frustration that Aibileen is feeling towards the hurtful racist remarks that were aimed at her earlier that day. These constant occurring racial put-downs are building up within Aibileen, tearing her apart, truly negatively impacting her. This historical fiction novel explores the emotions individuals would have experienced during the 1960s towards racial discrimination, as Catherine Stockett uses the technique of allusion to indirectly refer to the civil rights movements and issues occurring in Mississippi around the same time. This allows the reader to understand and notice the matter happening in the novel easier, as well as giving Stockett a new way to express the emotions of the characters, as she can go into great depth of how these maids would have been feeling during this time, based on what had happened in Mississippi during the 1960s. With the use of fiction, she can create her own view of these social changes by how she wants her audience to perceive the characters and what they are feeling. Through Stockett's use of multiple narrators, it gives the reader a new perspective of the issue of racial discrimination in each chapter, whether it being from a white or a black woman's perspective, going deeper into the truth and reality behind their emotions and their view on this social change. Each chapter allows a new outlook onto the issue, being read through the eyes of different characters depending on who is telling their story. Overall, it is evident that fiction is a powerful tool in revealing human emotions at times of social change, in this case through the historical fiction The Help, written by Catherine Stockett. Walking in the footsteps of these characters and going back in time, readers are able to explore the emotions revealed behind the story of each character.